Mara lived alone in a house that was too big for one person, but she liked it that way. Silence to her was a comfort, a buffer from the chaos of the world. That was true, until the knocking started. The first knock came on a Tuesday at 3:17 a.m. Not a frantic pounding, not the sharp rap of a visitor, but a slow, deliberate knock. 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 She jolted awake, heart pounding. For a moment she wasn't sure if she had dreamt it. But then it came again, each knock spaced several seconds apart. She crept toward the front door, barefoot, breath trembling. "Who's there?" she called. No answer. She opened the door a crack. Nothing but darkness. She tried to sleep. She didn't. The next night, at exactly the same time, it came again. Knock, knock, knock. She recorded it on her phone, hoping to catch a sound. But when she played it back the next morning, the recording was silent, completely silent, as if the microphone had shut off. On night 3, Mara tried something different. Instead of approaching the door, she peeked out her upstairs window. No one stood on her porch. But something was wrong. The darkness looked wrong. It wasn't just night. It was thick, like a shadow had weight. She squinted, trying to understand what she was seeing. The knocking began again, but this time it wasn't coming from the door. It was coming from inside the walls. Panic surged through her. She pressed her ear against the plaster. The knocks vibrated right against her skull. She stumbled back, gripping her phone, dialing her friend, Jonah. "You awake?" she whispered. Jonah groggily answered, "Mar, it's 3 in the morning. There's someone knocking inside my walls," she hissed. A pause. "Inside?" "Yes, I don't know. Please just stay on the phone." He did. She tiptoed through the house, trying to pinpoint the source. The knocks moved. Left wall, right wall, behind her, above her. Something was following her movements. "Get out of the house," Jonah urged. "Now!" She ran to the front door. Her hand wrapped the handle, and the knocking stopped completely. Silence. Thick, unnatural silence. She opened the door and stepped outside, just as her hallway light flickered behind her. She turned. Standing at the end of her hallway was a tall silhouette, thin, impossibly thin, stretching almost to the ceiling. It lifted one long hand and tapped the wall beside it. Knock. Her scream caught in her throat. She bolted to her car. As she fumbled with her keys, she looked back. The figure stood at the doorway, unmoving, its limbs bending slightly, like they weren't built correctly. She drove to Jonah's house and refused to return until sunrise. When she finally went back, the house was silent again. She packed a bag quickly. As she left, she saw something scratched into the paint by the door. "Don't answer the knock." Her blood ran cold. She hadn't answered it, but she had opened the door afterward. She had broken the rule. Now at night, wherever she sleeps, it begins again at exactly 3:17 a.m. Slow, steady, inevitable. Knock, knock, knock. And Mara knows. It followed her.
Stephanie had lived her whole life without believing in anything supernatural. Ghosts, demons, curses. She laughed at all of them, until the night she saw her reflection blink, when she didn't. It started small. She was brushing her teeth after work when she noticed her reflection seemed delayed. She would lift her toothbrush a moment before the reflection did. Not a lag, not a glitch, just a faint hesitation. She blinked twice rapidly, testing it. Her reflection blinked 3 times. She froze. The reflection smiled. A chill wrapped her spine like a hand. She backed away from the mirror. The reflection continued smiling long after her own face had gone blank. Stephanie switched off the bathroom light and walked into the living room, trying to convince herself she imagined it. She hadn't slept well. She was stressed. Mirrors played tricks sometimes. She dozed off on the couch. At 2:41 a.m., she woke to a faint tapping sound. Tap, tap, tap. She traced the sound to her hallway. The bathroom light was on. She hadn't left it on. "Hello?" she whispered. No reply. When she reached the doorway, she saw it. Her reflection standing in the mirror, but she wasn't standing in front of it. She was several feet back. The reflection leaned forward, palms flat on the inside of the glass. Its mouth opened as if screaming, but no sound came out, only the glass vibrating. She lunged backward, falling to the floor. The reflection began tapping on the mirror. Tap, tap, tap. She scrambled away as the tapping grew louder and stronger. Cracks formed along the glass surface like a spider web. Stephanie ran from the house, barefoot, shorts and a tank top in winter air. She didn't stop running until she was in her car. She slept at her sister's place that night. In the morning, she explained everything. They returned to Stephanie's house together, prepared to see a broken mirror. But the mirror was perfectly intact. No cracks, no signs of damage, only a smear of something on the inside, dark, almost like soot. Her sister tried to laugh it off. "Stress, Steph. You need rest." Maybe she was right. But that night, while sleeping in her sister's guest room, a soft tapping woke her at 3:17 a.m. Tap, tap, tap. She looked at the closet mirror. Her reflection wasn't lying down. It was standing, smiling. It lifted one hand and tapped the glass slowly. Stephanie screamed for her sister, but when the bedroom door opened, the reflection ducked out of sight, like it had been caught doing something it shouldn't. Her sister found only Stephanie shaking on the floor. Now, every reflective surface she passes, windows, glass doors, even her phone screen, she sees her reflection move half a beat differently. Sometimes it lingers, sometimes it waves, sometimes it mouths the same phrase, "Let me out."
Elliot drove the night shift for a rideshare company. He liked the quiet roads, the empty streets, the sense of being alone. But that changed on a fog-heavy Sunday night. His first odd ride was at 1:13 a.m. The app pinged a pickup from a rural road outside of town. The location was strange, near an old quarry, but money was money. He pulled up to the pin, headlights slicing through the fog. A figure stood at the edge of the road, tall and thin, wearing black clothing that seemed to absorb the light. Its face was obscured by the hood. Elliot rolled down the window. "You order a ride?" The figure nodded slowly. "Hop in." The rear door opened with a long, creaking sound. Elliot didn't hear the person sit, but the door closed. He glanced in the mirror. The back seat was empty. His chest tightened. Sir? Ma'am? Are you?" A voice whispered inches behind his ear. "Drive." Elliot slammed the gas pedal instinctively. His breath quickened. He couldn't bring himself to look back again. Every instinct screamed at him not to. What's your destination?" he stammered. The voice echoed softly, like it came from a hollow place inside the car. "I follow those who break the rule." Elliot didn't know what rule he'd broken, but he didn't ask. He just kept driving. The fog thickened, swallowing the road. Within minutes, he couldn't even see the lines on the asphalt. He slowed the car, fearing he'd veer off into the ditch. The voice whispered again, "Do not slow down." I can't see the road." The voice grew sharper. "Do not slow." His foot pressed the accelerator again. The car sped through the fog blindly. A shape loomed ahead, too late for him to brake. He braced for a crash, but the car passed through the obstacle like it was smoke. The temperature dropped instantly. Frost crawled across the windshield in branching veins. Something was very wrong. Elliot's phone suddenly flickered. The rideshare app opened on its own. A message appeared. "Passenger expected arrival, 3:17 a.m. His stomach dropped. That time again. He whispered shakily, "Where am I taking you?" The whisper came from everywhere and nowhere. "Home." "And where's that?" A long silence. Then, "Behind you." He refused to look. Tears streamed down his face as he gripped the wheel, knuckles white. The fog finally began to lift. The road became clear. And then he realized something horrifying. He wasn't on any road he recognized. Massive trees towered overhead, twisted and skeletal. The sky was starless. The asphalt ended, turning into a dirt path. "Please," Elliot begged. I didn't mean to break any rule." The whisper slid through the air like a blade. "You answered the call." His phone vibrated violently. On the screen was an incoming call from an unknown number. He had answered a ride request that should not have existed. The dirt path ended at a seemingly bottomless pit. His car slowed to a stop. "Why are we here?" he whispered. At last he felt a pressure behind him, something leaning forward from the back seat, breath cold on his neck. "All who summon me must take my place." The back door opened slowly. A figure stepped out, tall, thin, wrong. It waited. Elliot couldn't breathe. His body moved on its own, like strings pulled by an unseen puppeteer. He opened his door, stepping out into the cold air. The figure slid into the driver's seat. Elliot walked toward the pit. The car engine started, and the last thing he heard before falling was the whisper, "Next passenger confirmed."